keep working there, or he'll
for the rest of his life.
reinvent himself.
So what advice would you give kids about growing up, financial, jobs, careers?
Gosh.
I know it's a lot, but I mean, what advice would you give
I was
them?
thinking about all this the other day, actually, because, when you come home from work, you hope you're not exhausted. You hope that you're inspired and motivated. So I was thinking about my daughter, who's 15, and, she'll be through with high school soon enough and going to college, and that I hope she finds a job that she just loves, that really fulfills her. So that, if she has to work her whole life, that she's just really, really happy and motivated and inspired by what she does.
Yeah, you keep saying motivated.
Yes.
That's real important to be motivated.
Motivation is momentum. It's the ability and the willingness to move forward.
It keeps you going, I think.
Yeah.
It makes you go nonstop.
You don't want to be stagnant.
Mm-hmm.
Just sitting like still water.
And that's what happens to a lot of people. You get unmotivated, you get stuck.
Yes.
Even like in addiction, when I work with clients in addiction, they're always stuck. When I work with kids, and sometimes they can't see anything else but what's happened. Sometimes they end up repeating the same thing over and over because they're stuck. They don't see anything outside of what's in front of them.
Yes.
And so what would you guys recommend for kids that are stuck, not motivated, especially in the time of COVID? Because I it's so sad when I think back at how many kids, because even for me, I don't know if you guys felt this, but I know there's a holiday, but it kind of like snuck up.
Right.
It did.
Because usually, we don't spend that much time at home. And, but this time I've been home a little more. And it's like you said, my kids were like, you're still here. So what would you tell kids how to keep them motivated? Or how can they motivate themselves?
A lot of it, good or bad, a lot of it is on the individual themselves, and you have to be self-disciplined. And, the easy thing would be, well, I was on vacation, and that I would actually just get up and stay in my PJs and not wash my hair and not make the bed and just lounge around and eat whatever I wanted all day. But just that discipline that I'm going to get up and I'm still going to exercise. I'm still going to make my bed. I'm going to wash my hair, shower, do all those things. Keeping a routine, keeping consistent, a lot of self-discipline. So that if your house does burn down and you have to run out, you look your best.
Yes, that is totally true. I agree with that. Self-discipline is very important. I like how you said that, having a routine. I love routines because those are the things that keep you going. And, you wake up knowing that there's certain things that need to be taken care of. Yeah. And that's your motivation to get out of bed. And, for our kids, a lot of times it may be that, making your bed, because maybe that's the only true responsibility that they have in the home. For kids, though, I do also think that it's important to have a good focus on the things that you love and the things that you enjoy. For some people, for some kids, it can be art. Some kids, it can be, sports. So use that as your motivation. If you enjoy art and that that's something that will get you out of bed, and grab a pen and paper or crayons or markers or whatever it is that you enjoy doing art with, use that as a motivation. If you don't feel like making your bed, because sometimes we do have those moments, don't make your bed, but make sure you get out of that bed and you grab something to do your art on. Or if it's, exercising, or if it's a sport, go outside, kick the ball, shoot the ball if you like playing basketball. I know one of the things that I've had to do with my son a few times is like I have to tell him like, hey, what are you doing? Like, hey, do something productive, be productive with yourself. Like, do something that you enjoy. Or even when I've had my nieces come over, and when I say my nieces, these are little girls, 7 and 8 years old. And I hear them say things like, I'm bored in the house, because it's like, it comes from a TikTok video or something. And I'm like, I don't want to hear I'm bored in the house. There's things we can do in the house. What is something that you want to learn to do? You know, do you want to bake? You know, let's bake some cookies. Let's bake some empanadas, you know, and sometimes it also falls on the adult, you know, to help these kids, you know, stay motivated and push them into doing things that
Can
they
you
like and
repeat
enjoy.
that again, Maria? It falls on who?
It falls back on the parents, on the adults, on the grown-ups.
Yeah. And I think it's really important. And, you know, I know boredom is normal. It's okay to be bored. And kids have to find a way of entertaining themselves so they're not bored. And, you know, the destructive part of it is, of course, drugs and alcohol.
Exactly.
So if you teach kids, you know, that, you know, you don't always have to be entertained. You know, you can entertain yourself, but it's going to be okay if you're bored.
You know, those little towns, I mean, I can't name any, but that don't have anything going for them, so to
Right.
speak. And so everybody just goes to the bar because they're bored. So they think,
Right.
well, I need to go out and drink because that's how I have fun. Well, no, that doesn't help your momentum. That doesn't do anything for you.
Right. Yeah. So, and that's what happens. And so we need to teach our kids that, you know, fill in those blanks. But boredom, I mean, you know, that video that you said, it kind of struck a nerve with me because, you know, they're teaching kids that boredom is a negative thing. It's not necessarily a negative thing. It's just a thing. It just happens. Mm-hmm. It's like when we teach kids feelings are normal. It's a normal feeling. So I'm bored. Well, we all get bored. But
I don't feel like I have time to be bored, but maybe that's adulthood.
Yeah. Yes.
I mean,
yeah, but you'd be surprised how many adults do get bored.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. But, you know, filling in those blanks, how are you going to fill in the blanks? And sometimes we just need to rest. Sometimes we just need to be like some of us have found out. You know, something like this, the COVID, it stopped us right on our tracks. So, you know, it's just learning and learning about ourselves, being with ourselves and mindful. But parents being involved, I can't stress that enough. And a lot of parents get disengaged. They're disengaged because of their own lives. But you can't leave your kids behind.
Right.
I mean, they need you, and we're the ones that teach them. We teach them, you know, if you want them, like you're teaching your kids, well, if you're bored, let's do something here. Let's do something there. See, you're teaching them. It's up to you. The alternative to that is that they feel bored, and then they want to fill in the blanks with something destructive.
Yes, that is really, really true.
You know, it happens a lot of times.
And some of you don't have parents who are engaged at all. And so you have to kind of raise yourself, motivate yourself. But you have to know that you can create your own future. That, you know, right now you might feel stuck, but you can work towards better, bigger.
Right.
And we should always be working towards better and bigger. And, you know, like Miss Cindy said, you know, some of you guys might not have those parents who are motivating you or pushing you into doing things. But, you know, I can assure you, some of us here in this office did not have those parents either. Because I can tell you, I did not have parents who pushed me or, you know, motivated me into doing things that I really enjoyed. And that's also important for you guys to know and to understand that you're not alone in that aspect if you are one of those kids that are out there who don't have involved parents.
Yeah.
So how did you get over that, Miss Maria? Your parent wasn't involved. How did you motivate yourself? How do you get out of the feeling alone and abandoned as a kid?
Ooh, that's a tough question, Mr. Leo.
That's why I asked. See, we're working this.
I don't know. I think that's where I'm always on the go. Miss Cindy and Mr. Leo know me as someone who is constantly moving and doing things. And I think that's where it comes from. You know, at a very early age, I had to learn to not stop. You know, just keep going. Do things that you like. And when I say I know, I've said this in a lot of my groups a lot of times. You know, what is something that I do to calm myself down or to not be bored, coloring. I love coloring, and one of my favorite gifts this Christmas was a coloring book.
Oh.
Wow.
Yes.
Who gave you the coloring book?
My little niece.
Oh.
She left it in my underneath the tree. She came to visit. I had her made empanadas because she was bored, and I had her busy doing empanadas. And when we made the empanadas, I wanted her to bring some to her mom.
Maria's crying.
And
She's very sentimental.
I am.
It's okay.
It's okay to be sentimental, guys. All feelings are good. And so we went to the Dollar Tree to buy some little canisters or like little boxes to bring to be able to give these empanadas out. And I will tell you, I have pictures to prove that I had all my kids in the house wear gloves for the empanadas and wear their face mask. Because I wanted to be sure that I was teaching them, hey, it's important to keep our family and friends safe. So we're going to do this because we're going to give them to family and to friends. And I guess, she said she wanted to buy something, but I couldn't be around. So after I finished paying, she said, go wait in the car. And Destiny stayed behind with her and helped her. And I guess that's what she was buying, my coloring book. So it was the best gift ever. And I enjoy, and I always tell him, like, hey, if you're bored, if you're bored, just grab a coloring book and crayons. Even if you think it's childish, who cares what people think? It's something that's just going to, get you away from negative thoughts or negative feelings. And you're going to enjoy doing something with colors. I love colors. I love to write with colors. Even when it's with my writing, I buy...
Those are paperwork colors.
I buy the nice fancy colored pens, and they have to be nice and pretty because if they're ugly, I don't want them.
She's particular, or like she's a particular.
I'm very particular. Okay.
That was very nice, Maria. That was very nice. Thanks for sharing that. That was.
You're welcome.
Well,
your kids do need to.
So now your kids are going to be like, so what I gave you, Mom, meant nothing. I should have just given you a coloring book at the dollar store.
Well, it's
Salvador, did you hear that? You're buying shoes, coloring book, a shoe coloring book.
No, or maybe shoes that you get to color yourself.
No, I like the shoe coloring book, the 99-cent cheap.
No.
So, Maria's easy to please, kids. If you want to give her something.
Colors
and chocolate.
And chocolate, yeah.
Colors and chocolate. That'll
what about edible colored chocolate?
Edible colored chocolate? Oh,
really nice. Look, she's thinking about it. I could color and then eat at the same time. You could eat your drawings.
Edible paper.
Yeah, you can eat edible paper. Yeah. Oh, that's hilarious. Well, that's a good thing, Maria. That's very nice. I think that finding ways of dealing with our abandonment, lonely, and that's what happens when parents aren't around. You feel not wanted or like you're out of place. And it's important for parents, if you're listening, to make that time up. And you don't have to buy things, actually. Just your time being there with them, laughing with them. And if you don't like what they're watching, as long as it's not too inappropriate, but join them. There's a lot of things my kids, my son likes Dr. Pimple Popper. And I watched it with him.
That's a show?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. My daughter got him into it once, and he's like, can we watch Dr. Pimple Popper? I should put it on now and let you watch and see what your expressions are. It's just like what it sounds.
Like someone popping pimples?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And for some reason, it just gets you. You're like, that's disgusting, but so wonderful at the same time. I don't know why. It does. And anybody who's listening, who you know what I'm talking about, because I don't know what it is. It's disgusting. But then you're like, hour later, wow. It's bad.
Wow.
Yeah. Like Cindy's like, you just took the show a whole different route.
Dang, I don't want to watch
But
it.
my point was
don't
just
show
that.
Us, Leo. I don't want to see it. Don't show us. I don't want to see it.
I'm not going to show you. Well, let me show you, Maria. No, I'm kidding.
But I I also remember, and I'm sorry if I've already said this before, but when you reflect on your parents and why they don't engage with you, or, you know, why you feel like they're not